don't sit there and dwell on that shit. It's like that has more to do with them. It's not easier. It's easier said than done. But like, if you really think about it, like, people go out of their way to try to be a gnat to you or some kind of problem to you because they have so many problems within and probably external to them too, and they haven't figured out that those problems aren't theirs either. And you know, like, how can I put this? It's kind of like, you know, magnets. Like, a magnet's going to attract, you know, whatever is on a certain polarity in the, I guess, that's probably, I don't know if that's a good example. I have to think about that one. I say, but yeah, a magnet's going to attract what it's supposed to attract. It's not going to attract plastic. It's not going to attract, it's not going to attract like sand or water. It's going to, you know, if anything, water will probably beat up and repel off of the magnet. It's going to attract another metal that has another significant enough electric charge to it or polarity to it. I'm not sure how that goes exactly, but you know, you catch my drift, I guess. And you know, a magnet isn't gonna sit there and hold on to a bunch of bullshit it doesn't need. Just be a magnet, but be a magnet for the shit that you want in your life. Don't be a magnet, because when you hold on to bullshit, then that's what you're gonna attract, some more bullshit. You know, bullshit people, bullshit everything, right? If you're holding on to something, whether you let it be known or not. And I found that with myself, you know, just like there was things I was holding on to that was being thrown at me, but I had like a lot being thrown at me, so it just kind of like, but it was weird because I was also able to let go of more than I actually held on to. But it's kind of like, in the same breath, it was like, man, I can't, you know, I'm sitting there thinking I can't wait till it's over. Even though I kept moving, I didn't show any like towards the situation. I didn't really show emotion or anything like that. Just, you know, hey, everything is temporary. Everything just gonna keep working. And that's, you know, that's the whole thing about the lessons, is that we keep working and we keep learning more of what doesn't have anything to do with us. You know, more of what is actually supposed to be in our lane, our obstacles and everything like that. And we find out more of who we are supposed to be, what our purpose is, and what has nothing to do with that, even though people want to cast the illusion, or whatever entity wants to cast the illusion that this has everything to do with you, and you know, and try to actually, like, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, anything unseen, beat that into you, program that into you, that, oh yeah, this is everything. That is the matrix that does that. You know, it tries to make you believe, you know, for its own survival, to feed the machine. You know, you gotta rage against the machine. You don't have to rage against it anymore at this point. It's so, things are so on the downhill for it. You know, like, just don't be another, you know, stop being a cog in the motherfucker, and stop, you know, being a little gear, or, you know, well-oiled gear, just feeding the machine. The less people that feed the machine, the better. You know, because the whole thing is, I'm looking at, you know, this classism, so they want to create a, you know, like a slave class and a so-called upper class, but most of them, they have the brains of, you know, people who create those pyramid schemes. That is what, like, most governmental systems are built off of, a pyramid scheme now. And if you took money from politicians and paid them minimum wage, you would see who it was really about the people and for the people. Most of them ain't, you know, they ain't peoples. They ain't that. So, you know, a lot of people like completely remove themselves from the voting system and stuff like that, because it's just like, you know, what changes if we keep putting money in these people's pockets? Because, like, you know, at first I was like, oh, you know what, some races of people are doing it right. They're putting money in the politician's pocket. They're paying a politician direct to get their views across. But I'm like, the politician is going to be for what it's going to be for. You can line their pockets with as much money as you want to. In fact, you wasted your money. You could have saved that to get yourself out of whatever as you line the pockets of a politician, that has nothing to do with you, because that politician has their free will to do what they want to with that money once it's out of your hands and in their pockets. And once they get in that boardroom or wherever they're making these decisions at. So that's what I think that's a lesson that a lot of people have to learn. You can be in a voting booth like all the live long days of your life. The days of your life you could be in a damn voting booth, and your politician may not win, and your politician may not even do half the shit that they claimed they were going to do. They're just like, I'm gonna be down for the cause, down for the people. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Whatever the fuck they got going on, it's a bunch of showmanship. As far as I see, but I'm not like big on discussing politics. It's kind of like, I'm big on discussing, can we do this by ourselves without the government? And I'm not talking anarchy or any shit like that. I'm just talking independence with our own free will. Can we build a better system than we have now without these people who are, sorry, I'm on a bumper, who are basically acting as parasites to our finances and forcing us into a slave class, because it's like the middle class, everybody's complaining. Everybody is complaining, like the rich are complaining about getting taxed. Like, oh, whoop-de-doo, at least you have the money to pay for the motherfucking taxes. Says the poor class, and the middle class is kind of like, I don't enjoy being taxed, and I don't enjoy the amount of money I make. Some, not all, of course. I'm gonna stop saying that, because if I have to keep saying that to you, then you don't need to be on this page. And good day to you, or good life, whatever. And it's kind of like everybody's got their own set of problems in the system. Really, we're trying to create our own heaven on earth. I think that was the original intention, if I'm not mistaken. All the way back to wherever the fuck when we were supposed to be creating heaven on earth, and it's like all we've done is let people, serpents get in power, and motherfuckers keep eating from the damn apple, and enough people have eaten from the apple that, everybody's playing the blame game, pointing fingers, like, look what they're doing in their personal life. Who gives a fuck? That's their what they're trying to make their land of milk and honey. If it's not hurting anybody, then who fucking cares, right? But that's what they want you to focus on. It's like, what's going on? And that's why they attack the lower chakras of money and physicality, sexuality, and they body shame, and call people weirdos for liking artsy things or whatever it is they like that doesn't hurt anyone. Or if they put a gender behind it, like, dude, if you like doing it, then fucking do it. If it's not hurting anyone, what are you pointing your finger for, and what are you caring about what the idiot pointing the finger for? Because my thing is, since I already been through that, I'd rather be the person that's being talked about than the motherfuckers talking about the person that's being talked about. Because the person that's being talked about is doing what they want to do with their life. As long as if I'm fucking up, then I'm fucking up for real. If it's real, oh man, you just moving foul right now, or I do like knowing how people feel, especially if they're in my inner circle. I want to know how you feel. You can be real straight up with me. I can really just sit and have we can really sit and have a conversation, and I will take your criticism if it's constructive and if it's coming from a good space. But if you're trying to manipulate and control and try to mind fuck me or whatever, then okay, there's no need for you to even be in my life anymore. And my cutoff game is just it's stoic. It's epic. I'm not even okay, I said once and I said again, nobody from my past is coming back. Unless you're coming back with a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of truth, and not exactly in that order, because I do want the truth, but I'm like, hey, I'm ready to move on without it. I'm ready to move on without both, as long as whoever the fuck didn't, give me the one or the other, right? Because I want them both, but I'm prepared to move forward without that, and I want them both in the best intentions, right? But they ain't ready for that smoke yet, right? gave it back to them. You know, it's just like they try to put all that on me, on my shoulders, and you know, it was so many people that I'm transmuting energy from that's being thrown at me, and I'm like, these are people I don't know, these people I don't give a fuck about. You know, like if, and I hate to say I don't give a fuck about somebody, but it's kind of like that's just what it is. If you're sitting up here throwing negative energy at me, I don't give a fuck about you. Like if you're trying to do better for yourself and you're, you know, taking my messages and my intentions for what they really are instead of trying to distort and manipulate myself and other people to think that my intentions aren't good and like coming from a pure place, and it's kind of like, okay, then why are you here? You know, are you here to try to transmute my energy? It's not even something you're going to be able to do, like, because I'm not even throwing it at you. You know, there is no direct attack here, you know, except for when I say it's a direct comment. Like, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, even if I don't know your name, you know what the fuck, you know what you did, you know what you said too, so you know I'm talking about you or to you, right? So, you know, with that, you know, and that's what it is. That's the energy that I transmuted, and I gave it back to you, and I didn't transmute anything. Actually, I just gave it back to you. That's your shit. You hold that bag of shit. That's not me. You know. Fuck, I got stories. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, but give that shit back, man. Like whatever they're throwing at you, you know, trying to throw rocks and hide their hand, but they're in a damn glass house. How you gonna hide your hand when you got lacerations on it and you just finished throwing a rock? Everybody heard the glass break. You know, when you said what you said, everybody heard that shit. Everybody heard your house fall down around you when you did that shit. Whatever house it may be, 1st through 12th or whatever, 13th. I don't know how many houses there are. I haven't studied that far. I'm trying to get around to it, but I'm just that damn busy. But whatever house you threw it from, that motherfucker definitely broke, because usually when you're throwing rocks, it's a reflection of yourself, you know? So, with that said, give it back to them. Everybody take care of yourself. Live, laugh, love life. And I'll catch you guys on another video. Love you. Bye.